two good friends in the podcast. We have Lewis and we also have Wilson. All right.
Bro.
What's going on? So we are here, to just hang out and talk and have a good time. So tell us about you guys. What are you guys up to nowadays? What are you doing? Tell us about yourself. Lewis, you can go first.
Yeah, not much, man. Thank you for having us on. I've been following your show for a very long time, and I'm proud to say that you've definitely come a long way, and I'm honored to be on your show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Wilson.
Yeah, not much going on over here, man. Thanks for having me. Freshly unemployed.
Fun employed, right?
Unemployed.
Fun employed. So guys, first question I always ask everybody is, what is the first comic book you ever read? Wilson, you can go first.
Hush.
Hush.
Was the first. I started kind of late. We didn't have money for comic books when I was a kid, so Hush was the first one.
What intrigued you about that? What was like what grabbed you? What grabbed
Everything until the end, honestly. And I mean, the illustrations.
Yes.
I mean, is anybody ever gonna be like on the level of is it Jim Lee?
Jim Lee, yeah. Yep.
Jim Lee, right?
Yes.
Nope. Yeah. What else can I say?
it's a great book, Hush is I think the Hush himself as a character took Batman to the next level, like he was just a great villain.
Yeah, that was. I feel like Hush was built different, especially at that time. Now, in retrospect, like looking back at the older Batmans, which are all good, I'm like, damn, that was really like that. That kind of changed things a little bit.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
As far as story writing too, of course.
Oh yeah, and now Lewis, what about you? What was your first comic you ever grabbed?
My first comic ever was just a random Superboy comic.
Superboy.
That my aunt got me, but I didn't really get into comic books until way later on. As Wilson said, we never really had money for comics. But the first actual time that I've ever made it through, it was actually a trade with Old Man Logan.
Oh yeah. So Old Man Logan. Now that just like Hush is kind of like a turning point for Wolverine. Like I feel like everybody fell in love with Wolverine even more. Like you got to relate to the character, his pain, his whole backstory, especially when he started off, he was supposed to be this Australian guy, right? Start off in the cartoon, everybody's like, oh, he's Australian, whatever. But then the stories written about him, you see his pain, losing people all the time, and then finally they have the comic of him losing his family again, and this time it was like the whole X-Men team, right? So from reading that from beginning to end, what was like the best part of that comic for you?
Without ruining anything, there's just so many twists that you did not see coming. But seeing why he, what the reason for why he stopped using his claws, which is what you're wondering from the very beginning. In the very beginning, he's the whole thing with him is that he's now just a hermit. He's out just living by himself. He doesn't choose violence anymore. And as the story unfolds, you really get to see why it was that that he went down that route. And it was, to be honest, it was shocking. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with Hush, right? You really didn't expect. Just like Wilson said, Wilson brought up Hush. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like you didn't expect that to happen. You didn't expect. I think those are the best kind of comics when you can't tell what it's going to be about. Like Old Man Logan, I remember getting issue 1, right? And I'll be like, what the fuck? It's like, what? He murked the X-Men? What? It's insane. But you know what? If you haven't read Old Man Logan right now, something's freaking wrong with you. But it's true. It's true. It's same thing with Hush. Like you like spoiler alert. I mean, you wouldn't know as a guy that was Bruce Wayne's best friend and changed his face to look like Bruce Wayne. It's nuts. So I mean, that's 2 great comics right there. So coming from that to this now, the Batman, right? The the whole Batman thing with Robert Pattinson and everything. When you guys first heard that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, what did you think? I guess Wilson, you go first, since I know you're a big Batman fan.
I don't know. You know what? He's kind of corny, right? If you're going off of Twilight, I'm gonna say kind of a weird choice, right?
Yes.
But then I saw Robert Pattinson shortly after in 2 movies. One, Good Time, which is very gritty. It's the Safdie brothers. It's the same directors as Uncut Gems. And if you watch Good Time, it's a completely different Robert Pattinson. He's grisly in it. Like he's not like it is not the same. He's not sparkly vampire in that at all. And then I saw him in another movie called I think High Life.
Is that the one with in the lighthouse?
No, I didn't watch The Lighthouse.
That's what it called, The Lighthouse. Yeah, that was good.
There's The Lighthouse, right? And also another grisly character. So he's been on this trajectory towards darker characters already, and I actually kind of like him playing those characters better. I think they suit him a lot better, and I'm glad he's getting these roles as opposed to some like pretty boy vampire bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like, like you said, the grisly character and everything, but like I think the first time I saw him like really act was when I forgot what movie it was, but at the end you find out he was in the World Trade Center and died in there. I forgot what movie that was, but I just saw his acting chops with his dad going back and forth and being this kind of kid. He's like the movie was totally like it totally threw you off at the end, and he dies at the end, and I'm just like I sat back like, man, he put on a performance. You would never known what was actually going on here. Yeah. So Lewis, what about you? When you first found out that Robert Pattinson was going to be the Batman, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I haven't seen any of his other movies. I've only seen Twilight's, which had one of the worst like movie endings of all time. I was so mad. But with Robert Pattinson, kind of going into it, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Just like people doubted Heath Ledger when he got casted as Joker. Even when the trailers came out, people weren't feeling Heath Ledger as the Joker. And I kind of find it hilarious, to be honest with you, that all the things that I've read, that he's not working out. He's only eating pizzas and jogging, and this and that. I don't know if that's like true or if he's just playing everybody and he's just gonna come out and Diesel. But I'll give him a chance.
Yeah, I feel like everybody was like shitting on him. I wasn't even doing it. I'll be honest with you. I was the one being like, Robin Pattinson, freaking glittery vampire, what? So and then I saw the trailer and at DC fandom, and I was like, holy shit. And it's just just seeing him beat the crap out of that guy in that trailer. I was like, holy mackerel, what the hell is this? But even after that, people were still shitting on it, right? They were like, they were hearing reports that he's emo, he's this and that. But then now the thing I was going to bring up, they just released info about the 4-minute trailer they showed at Sony, what is it called? Sony CinemaCon, and they showed the whole Batman trailer, right? And they said that it is scary, it's captivating. It has Robert Pattinson plays Bruce Wayne, not like the Bruce Wayne you think it's going to be. You think it's going to be this, I got money all the time, Bruce Wayne. No, it's Bruce Wayne trying to figure out if he really wants to be Bruce Wayne and not Batman all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he thinks that being Batman all the time will be the best thing ever and just destroy the Bruce Wayne persona the whole time. So I thought that was pretty cool. Also, the Riddler is going to be a scary character. He's not going to be this jumping around goofy character. And he's going to be this sick, twisted, mentally disturbed person. And I think that's the best way to go with a Gotham character. Mm-hmm. And then I think a couple days later, somebody saw a 3-hour cut of the movie and they said it was phenomenal. Matt Reeves, hands down, was one of the best directors right now, right? He made us fall in love with apes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love those movies. And, I think him taking those liberties and taking those chances, really pushes the envelope for Batman. And I feel like it's going to. I hope he does the same thing he did for Planet of the Apes. I hope it's just not just another trash movie, but it seems like it's going to be good. What do you guys think of Riddler being a psychopath murderer through the whole thing? You think that that's going to be a good thing? Is this the right Riddler we need? So I guess Wilson, you can go first.
I like a darker Riddler. No Joker, huh? In this one.
Nah, no Joker. Everybody's thinking. What's his name is gonna. Joaquin Phoenix is gonna show up in there or something.
Need a Joker detox anyway. I'm happy to see Riddler in this form. I think Riddler probably is best suited for that kind of psychotic behavior anyway. He's got, whatever personality disorder you want to put on it. Fuck all that, like bouncing around, like
like Jim Carrey Riddler. Oh. I still think he's iconic though. Jim Carrey's Riddler is still iconic.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they could have totally brought Jim Carrey back. Not like Jim Carrey can't play, a crazy psychotic.
How crazy would that have been though if they brought him back though? Whew.
Wasn't he good in Sonic?
He was really good.
Is this an unpopular opinion?
Okay. No, he was great.
Yeah, he was probably the best part of it.
Yeah. He made that movie just go. But he's just good, like you said. He's got to just changing people, changing into different people. I mean, come on, guy's a character actor, like the Superman of character actors. But like you said, you're for it, Wilson, because I think they're basing off of this off of Batman Year One. So I'm guessing they want a more grittier, I don't care Batman. So I'm guessing they need a Riddler that's I don't care. Oh, also Batman's gonna be failing a lot. They said. Batman's gonna be failing a lot. He's been failing, like he's been trying to save the city, but it's just been getting worse. So that's where you're gonna drop into. It's not gonna be. You're not gonna see the beginning where his parents are getting killed. You're gonna get dropped right in to Batman in the beginning.
Was Batman Begins off of Year One as well, or was that
It was loosely based, kind of like they took things off of it, but obviously, not 100%, but this is more close to it. They said.
Okay.
What about you?
But Batman Begins, he kind of went straight to being like Diesel Batman, like unstoppable Batman. You didn't really see him like fail that much in it.
No.
I would like to see a Batman origin story where we see him kind of fail, just like the Year One comic book, Year One, the animated movie that they made, where he's still figuring stuff out. That would be good. As far as the Riddler goes, of course, like I like to see darker villains with Batman because Batman's dark.
Yeah.
Keep it that way.
Exactly.
I don't really know anything else about the movie. I haven't watched like any trailers or anything like that. I just kind of want to go in blind a little bit. But I am excited for it.
Yes. Me too. I think it's going to be a definitely a standout film. I mean, it's so DC's doing this whole thing, right? All their movies that are separate, it's called DC Elseworlds, right? So they're kind of saying it's on a different universe, which I like. That's cool. But I think Joaquin Phoenix and that Batman, if it's good, emo Batman, emo Joker, two sides of the same coin. So I think that's a match made in heaven right there for me. I would love that.
So is this going to be in the same universe as like the Joker, or is it its own standalone?
This is his own thing. So Matt Reeves is doing that, and he's actually doing a series on HBO Max. It's called Gotham Knights or something crazy, and it's going to be short stories in that Gotham era. So it's going to be great. So that's going to be going hand in hand with the Batman movie. They said Selena Kyle is going to be a big presence as well. So I mean, Catwoman is not going to be just some one-off. They said that she's what's her name? Zoe Kravitz.
Say less.
Say less, right? She's a great actor, bro. She's great. And she's beautiful. So I mean it helps. Hey, Catwoman was the black woman first, man. Just gonna say it. All right. So from comic to comic. So guys, here's the question for you. Shang-Chi's coming out, right? We have Shang-Chi's coming out. And this movie is supposed to change the world, right? They're saying this is the best Marvel movie right now. It's going to change a lot of people's minds about lead Asian actors, which I think that movie. What was the movie with the wedding? My was it My Asian Wedding? Yeah, yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Raisins. I think that should have changed people's mind, but they're saying that this is actually gonna change people's mind and get people behind the Asian community because they're not represented well in Hollywood. So you have an Asian director, the whole cast is Asian. You have Asian choreographers. You have Jackie Chan's fight guy is the fight choreographer in this movie. He actually died. He actually unfortunately passed away in the last couple of weeks. But this is all Marvel push. They're kind of just doing the whole Black Panther treatment. Have a Black community making this movie. Same thing with the Asian community making this movie. Now, guys, being Asian, any type of Asian, do you think this is actually going to embody? Or actually, let me redo this question. Do you think it's really going to impact the world and show that the Asian community is something, or this shouldn't be the? I guess is a catalyst. Is that the word? That's
catalyst.
Yeah, I think should it be? Should it drive that, or should it already be happening? I guess. Who wants to go first, Lewis or Wilson?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So as far as Shang-Chi, because we haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak for what it's going to do. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet, but I feel that it is important to get more representation, especially in the Asian community, because until recently, how have Asians been represented in movies? They're either the nerds, people who get picked on, the butt of every joke. They're weak. Just poor stereotypes. So to have an Asian superhero is a step in the right direction, and this is huge. But obviously, we're gonna have to see it first because like, as far as Asian movies go, Disney, Marvel, I'm still coming off of Snake Eyes. I'm coming off of Mulan, and both were terrible. So it remains to be seen.
To add on to what you just said, what in those movies? What failed in those movies that Shang-Chi should not needs to look out for? I guess.
Snake Eyes. I think the issue with Snake Eyes was pacing, and the writing was just terrible. Everybody sounded like they were just reading off of fortune cookies. Same thing with Mulan. I get what they were going for. They were trying to kind of just reinvent the wheel because it's a remake off of the original, but also it was completely different. And trying to make it so different didn't really work out for them.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, that was a bad movie.
Yeah.
Now, Lewis, to end you all for what you were saying. Now, do you think that this movie is going to change the way people see the Asian community, or give more respect, or just anything positive, or do you think it's gonna be a negative in school? Because I feel like I know you had a conversation with me before about this and how kids are, when Bruce Lee was hot, every Asian kid was Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? When Jackie Chan was hot, every kid was Jackie Chan.
Correct.
Do you think every kid's gonna be Shang-Chi?
Every Asian kid. That's another thing too. If we're gonna be talking about stereotyping, growing up, for Wilson, it might have been completely different from you because you grew up in Brooklyn. It was very diverse over there. But when I grew up, coming up in Sayreville, as one of the only Asian kids over there, I got called things like Jackie Chan. I got called Bruce Lee a lot, and I don't know. I guess moving forward, what is it in the schoolyard? Are Asian kids just gonna be automatically called Shang-Chi? People gonna,
That's true.
Also, my issue with Shang-Chi is that it was created by a white guy to take advantage of the kung fu craze in the 1970s.
Yes.
His dad was originally Fu Manchu, which is a racist character.
The most racist comic book character ever.
Yeah, he had the big hat, the buck teeth, whole 9 yards. So for them to pick this character specifically, could they have gone a different route? Could we, possibly see an Asian character that isn't just good at kung fu or good at math or you know, just your basic stereotypes. I would have liked to see that, but we're still getting a movie, so
yeah, sounds good.
You know.
Yeah. All right. I mean, so Wilson, I know you got some thoughts on things, so I would love to hear it. So tell me,
I'm writing notes and everything, man. I got thoughts, my guy.
All right, that's cool. So I mean, what do you think this is? So tell me what you think about this whole situation with Shang-Chi. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're discussing Shang-Chi's impact. Is it going to be a positive or negative in the Asian community?
Is it going to be a positive or a negative? I don't know. You know, like if you're asking me, are people going to, you know, forget everything that's happened in the last year and a half, particularly in the last half year with Asian violence and Asian hate? No, probably not. Do I think, while it's not necessarily a catalyst for a new light, it's perhaps a conduit for better behavior. And I think about the stereotypes. I was definitely called Jackie Chan, definitely Bruce Lee, will kids be called Shang-Chi for the next, you know, foreseeable future in the schoolyards? Yes, probably. Is it a good thing or bad thing, though? That remains to be seen. With Shang-Chi, yes, the dad used to be, it was Fu Manchu, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they changed it. They did change the character. We have the right, you know, if we are rewriting these stories, we have the right to change them how we see fit. And they changed it to a completely different character. It's played by Tony Leung-Chiu-Wai, who's, you know, if you're familiar with Hong Kong film or cinema, you've seen him. If you've seen Hero, he's in Hero. That's Broken Sword in Hero. Tony Leung is a legend. He's
Super legend. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know the movie The Departed. He's one of the main characters in The Influence for that movie. It's called Infernal Affairs. He's a huge, the whole cast. And I'll tell you what I feel about Shang-Chi that I think is the important step in the right direction. If you look at Mulan and if you look at Snake Eyes and you want to ask what went wrong, all you have to do is go to Google and type in Mulan director, Mulan writers, Snake Eyes directors, Snake Eyes writers.
Yep. And
then type in Shang-Chi writers, Shang-Chi directors, Shang-Chi cast. You tell me what went wrong with those other two movies, right?
Exactly.
Like, if Hollywood wants to capitalize on, you know, Asian heritage and what's good about Asian heritage, they need to let us work. We need to be casted. We need to write these stories. I think this is more than enough of I think this is a huge start as far as what Marvel's doing over here. Letting Asians write it, letting Asians direct it, cast it. This is big. I think letting us into that sphere, you know, which is rightfully our own sphere of influence, is very important for moving that forward.
Did we lose Chaz there?
I think we lost Chaz.
We lost Chaz.
Well, Chaz?
No, Chaz is gone. Well, yeah, no, Chaz is gone.
All right. Well, let's see.
Yeah. Well, no, you're completely right, and that's why I'm saying, you know, like it remains to be seen. We got to see it. I hope that it's gonna do it justice, same as Black Panther did. Yeah, but we do have a long way to go. Hang on, Chaz is hitting me up. Can you guys see me? No.
Can't see you,
no. Chaz. I am the captain now.
We're gonna have to sing "Happy Birthday" later, by the way.
We do. We'll surprise him when he comes back. I don't think he can hear us right now either. But yeah, hi guys, welcome to It's Just Lewis episode, pilot episode. How do we get into the chat right now? I want to say hi to, what's up, Justin? I see you. What's up, Xavier?
I think we can. Oh, can we not get in the comments?
Yep. I don't know how to add them back. No, we can't get in the comments.
Yo. Yes, the internet cut out. Sorry, guys.
What's up, Chaz?
All right, good. Thanks. Thank you for holding down the fort for like, I don't know what happened. I'm like all into Wilson's conversation. All of a sudden, it was like, boom. What the fuck? What the hell happened?
It'd be like that sometimes.
So did you finish did you finish what you had to say? Or did you just stop?
I did. I
got good.
Yeah.
All right. So
thank you for listening.
That was good. That's good.
Chaz, your mic. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Okay. You guys talked about Shang-Chi and what the negative and the positive can be about this. Are you guys just excited as well? Are you guys excited to see the movie? You think it's gonna do well? You think it's gonna?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be lit. I hope it is. I hope it's the best Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah, it looks good.
What's going on?
I haven't watched any trailers. I only kind of saw that trailer that you just played.
What the freak is going on? Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, right?
We can hear you.
I can't hear you guys at all. Are you guys
muted?
Can you
hear us?
No.
We are not muted.
I'm tight. I'm gonna be.
Chaz, if Shang-Chi is good, you're gonna have to get me that jacket. You're muted.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. But I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with that hearing. Wilson, Lewis gave me his kryptonite, his headphone kryptonite.
No.
Let's see. I'm gonna switch my audio.
Right. No, my kryptonite is my lighting right now.
Perfect. There we go. All right. All right. So guys, next topic. After Shang-Chi, what are we doing? Okay, so this is I guess the serious part of this podcast right now. So a lot of things have transpired between COVID and now, right? I think you touched upon that a little bit, Wilson. We've been having a lot of Asian hate, right? I've never seen crazy shit. I mean, maybe in my lifetime I haven't seen crazy shit like that in America, but I mean, things have happened. But to your community has been insane. So the floor is yours. I think Wilson, you should go first. It's losing the first last time, and just explain to me what has transpired. What do you feel? Anything you want to just say? Just go ahead. I just want to know. Let people know what the hell's been going on if they're kind of just blind to it. You know, from COVID to now, what have you seen in your community? What is the craziness that's been going on? Just let me know. Yeah, sorry, put you on the spot there.
It's been a long year and a half. It's been a long year and a half for everybody, to be fair. And I don't want to say, let me just start off by I'm not far. I'm 2 blocks away from Chinatown right now, where I'm at. And while it was quiet for a while when COVID really started popping off, there's still people out there living their lives, right? Like, I want you guys to remember that there are people just trying to live their normal lives. So it's not like everybody's just scared to go outside. You have a huge amount of people who just need to either go to work or need to get around or need to just live their normal lives. So at the same time that they're trying to do that, just be normal, just be accepted in this community, there is that, not even an underlying fear, there's an overarching fear of, at least for me personally, is something going to happen to my sister when she takes the train? Something going to happen to my mom when she takes the train? What's going to happen to my grandparents? What's going to happen to, any elderly when they walk outside? We shouldn't have to live like this. I don't know. It's been fucked up. I don't really know what to say about that. I can see Lou going. He's just like Lou is like.
If you want to take the floor right now, I don't know what my.
Yeah, your mic keeps on cutting out. It's a crazy topic. I don't know. I never in my life would have thought that this was something that we would have had to go through. As far as me goes, luckily for myself, my parents have been working from home since before everything shut down, since before we went home. But just as far as seeing it, whether it's on the news or on Instagram, seeing old people get beat up, seeing women get beat up, seeing kids get disrespected. It's not something that I've ever been prepared for, but it really opened my eyes as far as like myself being Asian, because as far as community goes, I personally, I've never really thought of like where I'm at with my own community. So that put things into perspective with myself. The things that I do, how I carry myself, is representing my community when I'm going outside. And with all this going on, having my cousin Maggie, Wilson's sister, his mom, that take the train to work every day. That's something that I think of every day. And it's hard. It's hard to fight through the anger. It's hard to fight through being upset. But it is important, and thank you, Chaz, for having us on, to have these conversations, to have our voices out there, to express these things so other people can hear it and be there for us as well. It's a crazy fucking time, man.
Now, have you guys seen any change since then? I mean, since everything's been going on from COVID to now, has it got better? Is the news just not reporting it? I mean, there's a guy on Instagram, I forgot his name. I think you shared it to me, and he constantly posts things that happen. He's an anchor, I think. Oh man, he's a news anchor. Forgot his name. But he posts like Asian hate videos all the time, things that happen that they're not reporting. But let me know, is it still going on? Is it just as bad as before? Has it lessened? I guess Wilson, you're in Brooklyn, right now?
It's still going on.
Yeah, okay.
I know it's still going on because now that I'm leaving the house every day, and even when I wasn't leaving the house every day, there was a time where I couldn't get off my block without catching a sideways glance, right? Like, yeah. And people forget and it's not just towards Asians, we forget as the world slowly tries to get back to normal. So does all the other things that are wrong with society in the first place. Like, humans are naturally violent. We shouldn't forget something like that. People were violent before COVID happened. They're gonna be violent during this pandemic and far after. It's just the nature of, I think that's just the human condition. It just happens to be very in fashion to be hating on Asians recently. It's kind of fucked up. Is it getting better? I think it's getting reported less now.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah. Shit. Damn, that shit was deep. I'm sorry. That shit just fucked me up a little bit.
I think people are kind of going back to work, right? Like they're not obviously not happy about going back to work. Like if you've been outside, if you've been to a restaurant or a bar or pick up a coffee or something, you've seen that people aren't as happy as they used to be at their jobs. My mom was happy at her job for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
She went back to work and she was like, damn, I never felt like this before. I don't want to go to work. It's normal. Like nobody feels normal.
No.
And some people tend to get those frustrations out in violent ways. I like to, at this point, I've taken huge detoxes from social media and the news outlets because I just can't wake up and look at that shit. I can't. I had to stop. I was like, I can't wake up at 8 o'clock, open Instagram. It's like playing fucking Russian roulette. I don't know what I'm going to see.
Exactly.
It's usually something nasty. I'm like, I can't start my day like this. There are too many things in my life that deserve my love and attention that I should be devoting my time and energy to. I'm not saying these aren't things that I don't care about, but I know for sure there are things that I care about that need my attention. I can't just be keeping up to date with this shit.
Yeah. And I know you were on top of it a lot too, because you were posting a lot on Instagram at the time.
Yeah. I was very, it was really engaging, but also at the same time, it was incredibly stimulating in some of the worst ways. It was just so draining for me. And I felt a calling. It wasn't even a calling. I felt a screaming to address what was going on. And at a certain point, I was like, oh, I've given all of myself to try to address these fears and frustrations. I need to reel it back in just for me and for my family. I don't know. Sometimes, and saying this out loud at the same time, I have these self-doubts. I'm saying, am I not doing enough now? Just because I'm taking a break for myself?
Yeah,
Fucking if you're going to talk about the model minority and like your Asian stereotype of not being good enough, right? Like,
a lot of pressure. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to correct myself. I did see this happen before when 9/11 happened, and all the Muslims and everything in Queens were getting their asses whooped, and it was breaking their stores. And I was in the middle of all that shit, so I did see this before. But I think this is another level because social media wasn't big back then, right? Now you have social media groups that just target communities and just destroy communities.
Just for likes.
Just for likes. Yeah, just for likes. Like, and also I think it was a perfect storm because my brother's girlfriend, obviously you know her name. She used to work in the mental ward. They let all those people out, right, during COVID. I think it was a perfect storm that happened. They were these people were on the streets doing crazy shit, and then you also have other types of people doing crazy shit, and they were just mixing together. And the Asian community was just in the middle, and people just was like they needed somebody to blame, just like 9/11. They're blaming you. They blamed you guys for COVID because of what our president was saying at the time. It's a crazy thing to think about. It's sad to say that 9/11, when that happened, it was safer for those people than for you guys now during this whole time right now. It's nuts because of social media. Social media is a fucking weapon, and it's crazy how bad it is. I mean, I've seen people people kill themselves on TikTok. Because people are bullying them. You got Asian grandmothers crossing the street. People are hitting them. You got freaking celebrities just standing in the middle of the street. They'll get punched in the face, all because of social media. It's social media is just it's a monster, man. And I think that's the biggest thing because I feel like if we didn't have social media, it wouldn't be as bad. Am I right? I mean, people would blame you guys, right? But it wouldn't be like, oh, we should all get together on this group that we have, go find Asians and fuck them up. Like, it gives them
a voice. It gives those people a community to stand behind, and it justifies their actions.
Exactly. And the people that actually go and do it are actually the people that live there, but the person that started it is some guy in Alabama living in his basement or some shit. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on. And I feel like the New York Asians had it the worst. Am I right on that too?
New York, in California. California is pretty bad too. As far
that
as
doesn't get reported as much as New York.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. I don't know if it's relegated to any sort of geography, because let's not forget what happened in Atlanta.
Fuck yeah.
It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if I'm going to get too far off.
No, dude. Talk.
Topic over here, but
we're on a freaking podcast, man. Just talk, baby. Talk.
Familiar with what happened in the late 1800s with Chinese immigration into America. The Chinese Exclusion Act was passed because American and European laborers were upset that all of the railroad building jobs were going to Chinese immigrants. They were blaming them. They were looting their stores, burning them down, attacking and killing and murdering Chinese people until this Chinese Exclusion Act was finally passed. And it wasn't until, it took almost 100 years before there was actual legislation to that. And it was a direct result of the civil rights movement that we can now, that America started really opening their doors like that. So it's crazy. I was planning a trip to Mexico City, and last night I thought I wanted to maybe stop by Chinatown in Mexico City. I'm sure there's a Chinatown there. So I Wikipedia'd Chinese, the history of the Chinese in Mexico.
Yeah. And
wouldn't you know it, it's the same fucking history as the Chinese in America.
Really?
So the then president in the late 1800s of Mexico, Porfirio Diaz, wanted to elicit immigration of European laborers to Mexico to build railroads so that they can modernize Mexico in the same way that America was doing. The Europeans didn't want to go to Mexico. It was too hot. They didn't want to go to Mexico. For whatever reason, Porfirio says, hey, we'll let the Chinese in. So it's the same exact thing that the Americans did. And same thing. The native and indigenous Mexicans laborers at a certain point said, hey, they're taking our jobs. And what happened? Violence. Yeah, violence ensued. And there was their own form of the Mexican form of the Chinese Exclusion Act in the late 1800s. There you see patterns across. If you look hard enough, across the world, you'll see this everywhere. So I don't know how I got here, but something we said before made me think of it.
No, it's. I mean, shit. You just freaking taught me some shit. I just freaking learned something.
I taught myself something yesterday. I just wanted to find out the history of Chinese people in Mexico. I was like, oh, it's the same one. It was the same thing. A lot of the Chinese people that went there were Chinese people that were trying to escape the violence in California that went down to Mexico.
Isn't it crazy that you can find a Chinatown everywhere?
Isn't
that nuts?
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, isn't that great?
It's an amazing thing. I mean, I wish I could find a Haitian town everywhere. That'd be great. Like Haitian food everywhere. You can't.
Yeah. There should be more, fusions of cuisine. Everywhere.
Yes. So I mean, Louis, after what he just said, like, do you think? Wow, Wilson just blew my mind real quick. Do you see this? He said it's been going on everywhere, right? Everything happens everywhere. Do you think people are like? I think Wilson said it before. They're just not reporting it. Do you think that's just happening everywhere now? They're just like, whatever. I'm done with this. I'm kind of it's old news, so we're just not gonna report any of this happening.
With news, everybody gets desensitized at some point. And then when that happens, it's no longer news. What was the point of spending time reporting on this if everybody's just like, again, same thing with everything that happened last year with like cops, racism, everything gets desensitized at some point. But with social media, the nice thing about it is that now we have dedicated outlets, Next Shark, stuff like that, that report on nothing but the Asian community and what's going on.
What's that website again?
It's called Next Shark.
And what do they do?
They report on the good and the bad things that happen that are good and beneficial to the Asian community.
Okay.
And sorry, I got to make sure my mic was down.
No, it's fine.
And they report on a lot of the negative things that happen as well. But with things being desensitized, the news outlets are, of course, reporting less on whether it be like violent crimes or general hate crimes. So a lot of things probably don't make it to them that happen anyway. But yeah, the desensitization is it sucks that we're built like this, because like before all of this happened, I was desensitized to so many things. School shootings, they happen every single day. Bombings, killings, people getting beat up. But to be honest with you, like I was desensitized to all of that. But when I saw Asian grandmas getting beat up and yelling and crying in our language, saying that people are bullying them and beating them, and like when people are trying to help them, they have no idea what they're saying, but it's on video, and I hear them just calling out for help. That hit me. I've not been desensitized to that at all. That shit hit different.
I just can't believe like some pussy would just hit an old woman. I don't know. That was just nuts to me. Like, what did you get out of that?
I was so angry for so long. I was so angry for so long. I'm not in any way tough. I'm old. I got back pain. But when I was going through that anger, I was like just thinking of like going out and saying, hey, instead of attacking these people, why don't you come at me? I was at that level anger when that shit happened. But luckily I had people to talk to about that shit. And so I guess for now, what I'm hoping is that the people that are doing these things, I hope that they get the help that they need. I hope that they get past this. And I don't know what else to say about that.
Something I can add on is just you said the videos and stuff that were posted. The comments of like, okay, you had the people going, that's fucked up, whatever. But then you had the comments going, oh, she knows Kung Fu. She should defend herself. What the fuck? Like a grandmother just got hit in the face. Somebody's grandma just got punched in the face. What the fuck are you talking about? Like being raped, and the racism is crazy on that end. Like just, she could fight back. Some of them did fight back though, which I did see. Some people fought back. Some of them fought back, but the older ladies like leaving nasty comments. Not, I feel sorry. We need to stop this. No, it's racist comments over and over again, and that's why I say social media is just the devil, man.
The comment section is always. I mean, talk about ruin your fucking day, man. Like so easy. Like I really try my best not to. I can't look at these posts. I definitely can't look at the comment section. That's for sure.
A good thing, one good thing about the comment section is that once a video comes out, they'll find a guy immediately. They'll find him. They'll find his employer. They'll find his address immediately.
Have you guys followed the Karen Tracer on TikTok? She finds every Karen and exposes them every time. It's nuts. Anything bad that happens, they find that person. It could be a Karen or Kevin, a racist person or whatever. They find them and blast them on TikTok. It's nuts. That
brings joy to my heart. That like
TikTok,
that makes me all warm and fuzzy on the inside. I love this.
After this, I will send you stuff.
I'll ask Chad. I recently got on TikTok a couple months ago, and against all odds, I kind of like TikTok. I'm almost always immediately angry when I open up Instagram for one reason or another.
It's true though.
Instagram feels greedy. When I look through the Instagram feed or go on the explore page, which they force you to go on the explore page, I just see cheap paid advertisements. I'm like, it feels like I'm walking through Times Square in circles. And when I open up TikTok, I laugh. I only open it up maybe twice a week, and I'm in bed, and I'm like dying laughing.
It's great.
15 minutes in, I'm like, wow, that was nice. And then I close it and I go to bed, and I feel like kind of nice. Yeah.
He sure did.
No,
he sure did.
Dude, I'm the same way. I
like that Asian pops up, right?
All right, you hear me now? I've kicked this thing so many times. It's freaking wire. I gotta get a new one. I've opened up TikTok at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep, and I'm just browsing through, and it's just amazing funny, every time. It's great.
They just really get me.
Of course, Mike.
I'm not on TikTok. I'm old. I don't get it.
That's not what Lewis would be like.
You'll be addicted.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't, right, Chaz? He shouldn't download it.
I told him. I think it'll be fun because he'll start doing videos with his dog, and it'll be great.
I'm down to create content on TikTok, but I know that if I start scrolling, I'll never stop.
Yeah,
TikTok. I'm starting to utilize TikTok, man, because it's great.
Anybody out there wants to be my TikTok manager and just like have the account on their phone and upload 20%. My content. 20%.
20%.
Variable. Starting at 20%.
Those are funny. Yeah, A-Day just said that. That is funny. They find the COVID anti-vaxxer people. It's funny as hell. Oh man.
I think no. You know what, Lou? I think you should download it because if you're gonna go, if you're gonna endlessly doom scroll, I'd rather you endlessly doom scroll.
I've never heard that before.
As opposed to Instagram.
No, because they're videos.
All the funny shit on Instagram are videos from TikTok anyway.
Yeah, it's true. They're all from TikTok.
No. I know myself. It's not going to be good.
He'll have it. He'll get it eventually. Yeah, especially when you can start. If you post your dog on there, it'll be a wrap. It'll be a wrap.
Lola would be TikTok famous.
Yes, she would. Just do the barks from down the street. You can just hear from down the street. You have the nicest dog in the freaking world, though. Like legit, nicest dog I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
She's so sweet.
She only barks when people come in. If you knock on the door, like your bro does every single time.
He does it on purpose. I'm just letting you know he does it on purpose.
I know he does. I know he does because
he'll hear this too.
He'll text me. He'll text me that he's outside, but he'll also knock and ring the bell at the same time. And then that
hazard.
Bro.
Yeah.
It'll be like 11 o'clock at night too. We'd go over there and Tristan just is a dick with that shit.
I'm just wondering why my door person let him in, because they're supposed to stop creatures like Tristan from coming up.
All right. Next topic. All right, guys. So let's go into some, I guess, we're going to talk Asian stereotypes. So from
Asian hate to Asian stereotypes.
The three of us have known each other since we were teenagers, by the way. So you all know. So
yes, we have. We've been.
Think about
it's been a long time.
Say when you were a teenager. I'll just put that out
there. We old. So Asian stereotypes. What is the worst one you've ever like? What is the worst Asian stereotype ever? What's the worst one? I guess. Lewis, you can go first this time. What is the worst?
The worst Asian stereotype, in my opinion, is that, you know what, with most Asians, with a lot of Asians, we are, and it leads kind of back down to kind of why I think the Asian hate happened to begin with, is that we are kind of taught from a young age to just keep our heads down, brush things off, be like, all right, be like, when we get picked on, keep our heads down and move on with it. And with a lot of media, with Hollywood, with movies, with TV, with shows, that is depicted as well. Asians just kind of keep to themselves, or when you say shit to them, they just go, huh, move on, and it's funny. So that leads to a lot of the bullying that goes on in school. That happened to me for years. That happens to a lot of kids as well. So as far as Asian stereotypes go, being just quiet, easy to pick on, minding your own business, that's probably the one that hits me the most. That shit fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Did you keep your head down, Lou?
For a while. For a while I did. For a while.
Oh.
For a while I did. When I first moved to Sayreville, I was one of 3 Asian kids in my class in the 6th grade. I was shy. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to make friends. I had a handful, which is all I need, and I carried that on till this day. But with being picked on, it was constant. People calling me Jackie Chan, people bumping me in the hallway. It wasn't until literally like the 8th grade when I stood up for myself. I got into a couple school fights, this and that, and but then I was a cool kid after that because I stood up. Yeah, but it was after that when I actually stood up for myself.
It's a long road. That sucks, man.
Yeah, but it's not the same for everybody.
Yeah, you shouldn't be throwing hands, just to
shut somebody up.
Yeah, just to he was throwing kick. He did use a third-degree black belt. He was throwing kick.
That's how I met him. I met him when he didn't give a fuck. He came in with his straight up Chinese garb, fucking Chinese hat. Walked into the freaking class, and I was just like, "Yo!"
It was to a point where I embraced it so much that my nickname in high school in since the 8th grade was Chinaman.
Yep.
Because I just embraced that shit. When kids are picking on you for a specific thing, I pulled a Tyrion Lannister. I used my my weakness as my shield, and I did that shit with my chest.
You did, and I can 100% back you on that one. French class. This kid walked into French class with the freaking whole get up. I was like, what the fuck?
I sure did.
My man.
I sure did.
What about you, Wilson? What's the worst? What do you think is the worst Asian stereotype?
The worst stereotype is it's a double-edged sword for me. I think the stereotype that Asians, and I want to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the terminology, but just to put us all on the same page right now, we've been using AAPI to include the entire sort of anybody who might not necessarily identify as just an Asian. So it's Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders.
Pacific Islanders, yeah, I heard that before.
Right. So, but for this, for the sake of this conversation, what I think is the worst stereotype is that those in the community are hardworking, and I say double-edged sword because it's true. A lot of them are very fucking hardworking, man. Like we're out here, especially if I'm me and Lewis are both first generation. Our parents came here. And the immigrants are incredibly industrious and hardworking. And a lot of them do, yes, put their heads down and do what they're told, no matter what the circumstances, because they think, okay, we're going to give a better life for our children. And because of that sort of work ethic, and combined with what Lewis said of putting their heads down, there's a lot of sort of like fucked up shit that happens within. We're going to talk about the model minority myth, right? Like, here is your model minority, the Asian American, will do all the work at whatever costs. Will do it incredibly fast and meticulously. They'll say nothing about it. But at what cost, right? At what cost? They'll say you can climb this social ladder as an Asian American so long as you do these things. So a lot of people do those things. And do they climb up the social ladder as far as money? Yeah, sometimes. But as far as actually being accepted as Americans, yeah, it clearly, if you look at what's been happening in the last year and a half, no. People are really quick to, as a turn on a dime,
yeah,
and say, you're not American, you're not one of us. And then, what happens? Like, you're like, I spend my whole fucking life trying to be, the best person that I could be, and this is what I have to show for it. Like, nothing, literally nothing.
That's crazy, man. It's just
I was never the model minority. I got this first time I got suspended in school was the 6th grade. I brought brass knuckles into school. I got a superintendent suspension. That was like a real one where you don't stay home. They put you in a school like deep in the hood.
Jamaica High School by me.
Not happy about that one. I was always getting into fights, and I always got suspended. And while I was good at some classes, if I had decided that I wasn't really interested in a class, I just didn't even try. So I failed a lot of classes. I was far from the model minority, and what that did to me was it said, I don't know, for a long time in my life, I was like, so who the fuck am I? If I'm not this good projection of what an Asian American is, what am I? Because I go home and I'm a failure in my parents' eyes. And I go to school and I'm a failure in administrators' eyes. And for a kid growing up in America, what else is there? There's who you are at home, and then there's who you are at school. Mm-hmm. And you don't really, as a kid at least, I wasn't able to carve out an identity comfortably until I was well into my 20s.
Can I ask you a question? Did you get hate from other Asians because you weren't that, that stereotype? Because you weren't the go-getter, I guess, in their eyes? So
Absolutely.
You were getting hate in your own school from your own people?
Yeah, some of my crews might have said, like, yo, Wilson was too wild. Like, this guy is,
he's different.
He's different. He's unpredictable. And at the same time, I've had my own self-hatred for my own community for a long time.
Yeah.
Half my life, I would say, up until this point. I've only recently, in the last couple of years, tried to reconcile that. My own hatred for, my own community, and the circumstances that I've had to go through. So, of course, yeah, I've felt that. I've given that. I've put that out into the world, and thanks for asking that.
No, it's true. I mean, I was going to ask Lewis the same question. It's like, because I know that we were his friends, but I never really saw him hang out with too many Asians in our area. For me, I'll be honest with you. When I came in Queens, I was going to school in Hillside, and then I went to Fresh Meadows. So I was in that Asian community, and they were like super cliquey over there, right? And they're a really strong community over there. And, they look at you sideways if you're there. But I grew up in that community. They had each other. But they never liked any outsiders, right? Like that's what I felt. So meeting Lewis was the first Asian kid that actually spoke to me like I was somebody. Yeah, like I was somebody. Like he didn't look through me. He looked at me, Every Asian kid before that I've met was just like they didn't want to talk to me. I grew up like when I was in my dad's house in Fresh Meadows, it was all of an Asian community around there. It was just me and Tristan, and then the kids were like not talk to us. It was just crazy. But then I saw like kids that act like you said acted different, and that was an Asian kid that when he acted different, he hung out with the hood kids. They kicked him to the side too. They wouldn't talk to him. You know, it's a crazy thing. But seeing Lewis, I know that you didn't talk to too many out there, but out here, unless I didn't see it. How many Asian friends did you have when you moved to Jersey? Like, just in general.
When I growing up, before I moved to Sayreville, I went to an all Asian school. My entire class. I went to a private school. My entire class was Asian. We literally went from preschool to 6th grade. That was like my class, you know. So coming to Sayreville, to the middle of nowhere in New Jersey, it was shocking to me, because you know I'm coming from a place where I'm interacting, I'm friends with people that look exactly like me, to a place where nobody looks like me. But I had to adapt. I didn't keep in touch with a lot of. I had no way to keep in touch. We didn't have social media or anything like that. I didn't keep in touch with anybody that I grew up with. So, you know, my new friends were what I had. I would hang out with Wilson. I would hang out with my cousins, and then I would hang out with Wilson's crew occasionally, and they were cool. They were cool. Wilson was rolling with mostly Asian crew at the time. But what kind of like the kind of moment that I realized that was a thing was this time that we were adults by then. We were maybe like 21, and I found out that there was such a thing as an Asian club, and we were kind of like club heads at the time. I wanted to see what it was all about. I was like, yo, let's go meet some Asian girls. So I brought my boy John Morales and our boy at the time Jensen to go over there. And the bouncer literally, the club's called Circle. The bouncer literally would not let us through because John, he's Puerto Rican and Dominican, his belt was white and his shoes were brown. And the dude was like, your belt doesn't match your shoes, you're not allowed in. And we literally had to like fight this dude to let him in. And it didn't hit me until like afterwards that he was like probably being a little bit racist. Yeah, we get in and yeah, no, but like I've always been shunned by cliquey groups for me having I have a pretty diverse friend group. You know, we meet up. They wouldn't say hi to our boy. It's happened to you when I brought you out. It's happened to your brother. It's happened to Jensen. It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
They, as you said, they see right through us. And it was something that I held against them for the longest time. I didn't understand it. I was like, why do my own people treat me this way? Because like my friends are different. And I didn't really come to terms with it. The shoes and the belt. I didn't really come to terms with it until like late in life, because I was only focused on the negatives, on how they made me feel, but I never gave it a second thought of like why they were the way that they are.
It's crazy. I'm trying to think back. It's because me and my brother are obviously light-skinned Haitians, right? But when we see other Haitians, they're always happy to see us. They never shun us and everything. But in the Asian community, when I've hung out with people like, you, Chris Chan, and
Chan.
Yeah, like he didn't like to be called Asian. He liked to be called Pacific Islander. I think
Wilson, he was Italian.
So he didn't like to be called Asian. He liked to be called Pacific Islander at the time. And I think Wilson brought that up before. Some Asian people either like to be called Asian or Pacific Islander, Cantonese, Japanese. You can't just call them straight Asian. Like, I don't know, it's like disrespect or something. I don't know if that's what it is. But I just never seen hate in a community towards each other. Like that's so crazy to me. And now you guys are confirming that as well. So I just never knew it was this normal, that this happens like all the time. So, Tristan.
Yeah, we can't. You know, obviously, we're not speaking for all Asians. This is just what we have gone through.
Yeah, what you got going through.
Yeah, what we got going through. And for me, it kind of goes back to just being that kid that keeps your head down, that just like does the work and says like, all right, whatever, it gets picked on. And in a way, there's strength in numbers, you know.
Yep.
You team up with kids who look like you, who are going through the same things as you, and that ends up being your clique, that ends up being your crew. That's who you roll with, because there's strength in numbers. So when that happens, and then you get picked on all your life by people that look different from you, that's kind of how you treat it, right? Like if somebody new rolls through and they like look like the people that have been picking on you all your life, you gotta shun them away, right?
Yep, it's true. It's just crazy that you guys had to deal with it in your own, like not with like other cultures. I'm talking about your own, inside your own culture. It just bothers me. That sucks, man. But I've seen it. Like I've seen it in Fresh Meadows. Like I said, I've seen it. So it's not like a new thing, I guess, but it's just you guys are confirming it completely. Like this actually happens. I mean, we've been out together, and they're like, we've tried to talk to a group of Asian girls or something, and they want nothing to do with us for some odd reason. Like they act like we're not there. It's like,
I mean, yeah. First, I mean,
it's true though. It's like you said. What are they? No, go ahead.
Isn't that the whole thing though? I mean, like the whole point, and we're sort of at this point where I feel personally like, for people in the AAPI community, we're only right here at the precipice of something, of identifying ourselves.
Yes.
We never had the opportunity to identify ourselves the way that we should be able to.
Yeah.
Or at least, I'll speak in a very personal sense. Like, we didn't have those cultural revolutions in this country yet.
Facts.
We haven't gotten to that point. Every stereotype from the 1800s through to the kung fu craze of the 70s, through the last the early 2000s, all of what was being presented as Asian American was just given to the public by a very select few people. We had very little control as a community over what we identified as. Now we get to do that with the art that we create, with the attention that we're getting, rightfully so. And with that, I think, is a very interesting time. And what comes with it is a realization that we're all very different in this community. You hear people saying Asians are not a monolith. We are not the same.
Nope.
Just like all black people are not the same.
Nope. That's true. 100%.
Just like all white people are not the same.
And I feel like you guys are the last community for people to like say that, because everybody thinks, Asians are the same. Yeah. No, it's not like that at all.
We're all incredibly different. Yes. I think about the representation, the increase in representation that I've been seeing from Asian creators. And sometimes I don't like what's put out there, right? Like sometimes, like I'll see a movie, which is, I think it was called, I forget the name of what I saw, but it was a Taiwanese American director and filmmaker. And I was like, I don't know, I didn't really like this, even though it was an all Chinese, all Asian cast. And I was like, but I'm still glad it's there. I would rather have something bad that is made by Asian creators than not having it at all. At least it's there.
Was it the Eddie Huang movie?
No. Oh, that was another one. Yeah, that was a shitty ass movie. I didn't like. What was it called?
I don't remember.
Boogie. I didn't like Boogie.
Boogie. Yeah.
I didn't like Boogie, but I'm glad it's there. You know, at least it's there.
I mean, you know what? I love you so much because you just like went into the next like question I was gonna ask is, has Hollywood finally evolved? So it's legit. Like I didn't even have to do anything. You just did it. So
We were not
I
prepped
mean,
for this.
you were not prepped for this. So so I mean, like Crazy Rich Asians came out obviously, and it changed the culture, right? It changed. Oh yeah, these people can act. There's a whole side of there's a whole side of the Asian community, just like there's a rich side of the Black community, there's a rich side of the Asian community, there's rich white people, rich, Spanish people. You know, it just seems like Hollywood's going in the right direction. They do have certain step backs. I mean, Snake Eyes, but it's bad movie. But you have stuff that goes forward, like even like to this day. I know Bruce Lee, technically people use as he's an Asian stereotype, right? Like he's like himself is an Asian stereotype, but to this day,
Yeah.
his influence is still going through this day. Like Warrior is happening. All those guys from Warrior are getting cast in all these other films, and why? It's because of Bruce Lee. It's freaking insane. You know, the guys from what's the movie where they went up the tower and they were fighting. The freak was it called? No. With the two brothers, and at the end they fight the guy at the end, right? The two brothers, one is a cop.
That's The Raid.
The Raid. Okay.
The Raid,
The guys from The Raid and Raid 2. All in Hollywood now, big time actors in Hollywood, big time action guys in Hollywood. It's like everything the Asian community is doing is in Hollywood is going up, right? It's an upper thing, and it seems like in your culture you guys bring everybody with you. You know what I'm saying? Like in Hollywood, it seems like they click together, they exceed together, they do these great movies, and then they spread out and do the same thing over and over again. Same thing with Shang-Chi right now. All these guys are established Hollywood actors and young actors, doing something amazing. Now, do you guys agree with me that Hollywood is evolving, for better or worse for the Asian community? Like, are you guys afraid that it might going back to that you guys get put in that kung fu thing, or do you think we're gonna see more movies, like Crazy Rich Asians, that are gonna be successful? You can go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians proved that you can be a box office success without having to be that stereotype, without having to be a kung fu movie. You can make like a love drama, and it's it's gonna hit. Crazy Rich Asians was fucking lit. But we do have a long way to go. Shang-Chi, kung fu. Warrior, kung fu, and they're killing it. But we are making the right steps, and perfect example would be what Steven Yeun has been doing. I think he should get more credit than he's been getting. Whether it's from Walking Dead, he's an Asian character, never came up once. He's just there. He's reliable. He's gonna do his thing. He gets the white girl, crushing it. Dies for the squad.
My man.
Probably, my man. Probably the most crushing death of the entire series.
Yep. Still.
And it has nothing. And it has nothing to do with his race. It's the character that he built. The character. It was character driven. Yes. So he proved that. Same thing with Invincible. He brought Invincible in. Invincible. He's half Korean, but it never comes up in the show. It has nothing to do with that. He's not good at math. He's not really good at anything, but he just happens to have superpowers, and he's doing his best. And that's the type of direction that I want to see it going in. So is it going in the right direction? I think it absolutely is. And what Steven Yeun has been doing is a perfect example of that.
What about Awkwafina? How do you feel about her?
I like her.
Oh, she's from Queens, man. She's doing her thing. I've been following her since I was in high school, right? So, have you guys seen?
You knew her?
No. I wish, man. Yeah, she's dope. She's funny. Did you guys see Minari? Steven Yeun's one of his latest movies.
No.
What's it called?
Minari's a good movie.
Minari? All right, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. It was a little bit of controversy when it came out last year because it's a great film. It got nominated for Golden Globes for best foreign language film or best foreign film. It's an American-made film by an American director. It's a story about an American family. It just so happens that it was played by Koreans and Korean Americans, so it got nominated for, and it won the award too. I'm pretty sure. Someone fact check me on, but I'm pretty sure it won that award too, even though it was a completely American movie. So, it's about Hollywood. I think we're slowly heading in the right general direction, just like Tristan's saying over here in the comments. Will it? I say we, but it has nothing to do with we. But I guess now that we are actually, maybe it is we.
Yeah.
Will we backpedal in some ways? I'm sure, but do we have some momentum that we didn't have before? I think so. I don't know. It makes me think about, like, you said Bruce Lee, and I think Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee and Kareem on the same screen at the same time. Like, damn, man.
That was nuts.
About, like,
imagine being there for that, man.
Right? If you want to talk about bringing people up, Bruce Lee brought everybody up with him.
Everybody. Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Jackie Chan brought him.
He broke his neck and Enter the Dragon.
Pick the fuck out of him.
Jet Li, Romeo Must Die, and Cradle to the Grave. Two of the greatest kung fu movies ever. To push those boundaries in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then almost never to be seen again. We haven't seen an Asian and Black sort of like on the same screen at the same time in that sort of way since.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think just Rush Hour, really. I mean, if you want to say anything, that's it. But other than that, I mean, no. But it's crazy though. You said that. It's nuts. There was a point in time that you couldn't make an Asian character like the most important guy unless having a Black actor with him. Like, it was always like, but seriously, if you think about it, all those movies that were popular in the 90s, like they either had DMX in there or Chris Tucker beside the Asian character. Like, it's always that, it's just, I feel like Hollywood was just trying to keep the Asian man from, like, jumping ahead. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like
him in that box.
Exactly. It's crazy. And I can't think of a bunch of movies right now, but there's a bunch of movies I was sitting there like, man, the Asian lead actor was really good. They really did, like, push him. Like, he could have did that movie by himself.
He never got to kiss Aaliyah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He never did. That's so fucked up. Oh my God. The sexual tension was crazy in that movie too, between them. And you thought,
bro.
He definitely. Freaking Jet Li, man. He retired too.
He's sick.
He was in Mulan.
No, he wasn't in Mulan.
Yeah,
was
he was in Mulan. He was the emperor.
He was the emperor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, did you guys ever hear the whole story of Jet Li never wanted to lose in a movie? So, like, he would, like, stop, like, doing movies. He wanted to do movies with Jackie Chan because he didn't want to be the loser in the fight. Jackie Chan. Yeah. So they did that monkey movie together. Remember that monkey movie?
Yeah. No. Did he lose in the Monkey King?
No. He did it. If you watch the movie, he does not lose in there. No, both of them don't lose. They kind of just have a fight, and it just kind of just evaporates.
Yeah.
So it was a big thing. But it's true. I mean, now we have what's the kids playing Shang-Chi? Simu Liu.
Yeah, Simu Liu.
Yeah, and they said he was he put a thing out to Marvel, and like he did an audition. He was a big Marvel fan and everything. He didn't think they were going to pick him, but Kevin Feige is one of those guys that are like, let's give this guy a chance, and they did. They saw his audition tape. He was nobody. He was a nobody, and they casted him, and he's amazing. Apparently, they said he electrifies the screen. You're going to fall in love with him. He's going to be in your top 5 best Marvel movies of all time, not including Endgame and Infinity War. You can't include those. But they said that he steals the movie, man.
I
And
hope he
with all
does.
those other actors in there, it's crazy. You know, I think it was what's her name, Michelle Wu? No, is that her name? No, what the hell's her name? The mother. Um, Michelle Wu? No, what the hell's her name? I can't remember her name. There's a bunch of crazy actors in there. Apparently, they've been acting forever. He's really never been in anything, and they say he steals it. So, you know, I'm happy to see what happens for his career. I think his career is going to shoot up to the sky after this. I just hope he doesn't get cast in kung fu movies forever. I hope he like gets able to,
unless
you know,
he wants
do other things.
yeah,
Unless
if that's what he wants,
more power to him, right?
yeah.
It's got a
So
92% on Rotten Tomatoes so
there
far.
you go. There you go. It's
Gonna be lit. I haven't looked up any of like the casting or anything like that because like
I'm surprised they didn't get Donnie Yen on this one.
I want to be surprised.
They're probably saving him for some other shit, man.
Yeah,
he's already in
man.
with Disney, right? He already did.
Yeah, he did Star Wars
one, so I'm sure he's gonna pop up somewhere sooner.
So
I want to see him as a villain.
You're gonna see him again in Star Wars. They're gonna do a younger version of him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So they gotta just pull the trigger on the first gay characters in Star Wars confirmed.
Yeah, they were gay.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Chit, whatever Donnie Yen's character is, and the guy with the bazooka.
There was some serious, but there, yeah.
I gotta watch it again.
The first gay tension was Finn and.
OD.
Yeah,
Finn and Poe.
Oh yeah, they definitely. They were definitely working up to that. And then for some reason, somebody didn't pull the trigger. So.
Yeah, Disney will get there soon. Luca was.
Luca is definitely.
Luca had a 2.5-inch inseam on his shorts. No, but it was a coming like out. It was literally a fish out of water story, like coming to accept yourself.
No pun intended.
Everybody else thinking that you're a monster. And
that was a good movie.
At the end of the day, just like coming out and accepting yourself, and just knowing that people are gonna accept you as well. Luca is a gay story, and they should just let it happen.
Yeah, really, just say that.
Disney's getting to it, man. They're gonna get to it eventually.
Yeah,
they're pushing it. They keep pushing the envelope. So, I mean, we'll see.
Also, Poe and Finn, ship Poe and Finn ASAP.
Oh yeah, that should have happened already. But Finn's getting his own show as well on Disney Plus, by the way.
Yeah,
if you guys didn't know that.
Poe gave him his name.
Are you guys excited for Boba Fett?
Yeah, of course.
So the Bad Batch is apparently going to be in there. So it seems like a lot of people are coming back for that. And Mandalorian season 3 is filming right now.
How many seasons of Bad Batch? Because I thought Bad Batch was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a one and done. Because they really could have done without like half of it was literally filler.
I feel like Disney just changed their mind with everything because they said Loki was going to be one season and they're making it 2 seasons now. Same thing with Bad Batch. They were saying it was going to be 1 season and then now we're getting 2 for that.
Wait, can we talk about? I kind of fell off of Bad Batch. But can we talk about Loki, man? Like.
Wait, hold on. I don't know where you're getting at right here because you do that Wilson face of I didn't like it or I did like it. So I can't tell right now.
Wilson, your hair looks great, by the way.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, it looks really good on camera. You got that little split action. It's not like 50-50. It's like a 40. It's like a 40-60 split. It looks good.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
appreciate you. I liked Loki up until the last episode. We lost CHAZ again.
Oh no. Maybe he can hear you though. So just keep it going.
Harold and Kumar, yes. Tristan, you're right. John Cho and Kal Penn deserve a mention here.
Kal Penn wound up working for Obama.
Yeah, they took leaps and bounds for the community in Hollywood. Yes, good point. Good point.
I gotta plug my thing in. It's dying.
I'm gonna hop off for quick second too.
All right, so Lewis is running the chat. Let's go. Everybody leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to Because Lewis on Instagram. CHAZ is all right.
The internet, for some reason, keeps, I guess maybe something's going on.
Yeah, it's all good. You know what? It's I think it might be the weather, because that happens sometimes to me. We do have a hurricane coming. Everybody stay safe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes. No, well, I think Wilson's reloading his internet, or maybe plugging his phone in, or something like that. I don't know. How come in the comment section we're not allowed to type in comments? We just have to respond.
You just
we just have to respond to people.
That's it. And I can respond to them, but I think you guys can't. Only me, because I'm the host. All right. Well, was Wilson is Wilson coming back?
Wilson's coming back eventually. What was the original question that you were asking us? Because I have ADHD.
Me too.
I forgot completely.
Completely.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the hell we were talking about. There's
Wilson. Wilson, what were we talking about before?
After my internet cut out again. I don't know. Well, we are at a minute, 1 hour and 30 minutes, so we do have to end the podcast. We got to do that Joe Rogan ending soon. He's like, nice. Wrap it up. All right, guys. Well,
Tristan said your hair is on fleek, Wilson. Thank you, Tristan. Yeah. Lewis, step your hair up. I cut Lewis's hair, so that's an insult to both of us.
Yo, he sure did. He sure did.
That's an act of Asian hate that you just committed, Tristan.
Yo,
so guys, yeah, that's best.
Oh man, yo, let's get Tristan on this next time. I want to hear. I want to hear what Tristan has to say.
I was definitely Lewis and CHAZ during high school years. Oh my fucking god!
It sure was. We have a movie poster.
We do of us together.
Yeah, we have a movie poster of us as Harold and Kumar.
Oh shit. All right, so we are here we're at the end of the podcast right now, guys. We had a good time talking with my boys Wilson and Lewis. We went from funny, serious to not so serious to serious, and all those ups and downs. But it was a good podcast. Guys, please help out. If you see some Asian hate happening in front of you, don't be scared. Just hit somebody up. Let them know what's going on.
Cut a motherfucker.
Don't cut anybody, please. Don't force it. But what's the website you were saying, Lewis? If you have to report things, what were you talking about? For the Asian hate thing.
Oh, Next Shark.
Next Shark. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And where you guys? Do you guys want to shout out where your Instagrams are? If anybody wants to.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's been our usernames.
Okay. Right you can find them on Instagram. Also Wilson's a photographer, so if you need some pictures,
yeah,
he's booking OnlyFans pictures only. All right, cool. Guys, thank you again. I really appreciate it coming on here. It was fun.
Thank you for having us. This was really fun. We should actually do this again.
Yes, no, seriously, we should definitely do it again. Hopefully my internet doesn't keep cutting out. God damn it, all these technical difficulties today.
Right.
Shut up. It's Lou's fault. All right, guys, thank you for watching. We will see you later. Peace out.